My heart deflated as I realized I wasn't in the sunshine cuddling Jake, and that damned irritating noise was the alarm clock demanding my attention. I guess I should have been grateful that I'd been to sleep, as I'd found it quite difficult in the past few weeks. I reached out to turn off the alarm and felt the tears welling up once again. I took his casket to bed with me every night. I just needed to feel he was still near. I'm sure I'm not the first person to have done this. It was comforting to know he was right there beside me during those sad, restless nights when memories deny you a restful sleep. Knowing he was home again helped me through that awful time. Unable to jump on the bed anymore, Spike was laid on the floor at my side of the bed, his tail beating in rhythm, waiting for his breakfast. His tail no longer wagged at the speed of light, but there was still plenty of wagginess left in it. I leaned over and stroked his huge head. Thinking aloud, I whispered, "Oh, my lovely old Spiky boy. I know you're missing him too. How are we going to manage without him?" Judging by his response, the only thing Spike seemed to be missing right at that moment was his breakfast. Wearily, I got out of bed, picked up the little casket, and went to the stairs. I always walked down in front of Spike these days, as he wasn't as steady on his paws as he used to be. I popped Jake down next to his photo in the living room and went to get Spike's breakfast. Never one to let anything come between him and his food, he got stuck in and scoffed the lot before I'd had time to boil the kettle. I took my cup of tea and 2 slices of toast, one for me, one for him, into the conservatory and watched him potter about the garden. Much slower these days due to his arthritis, he mooched around checking to see what, if anything, had been in his garden overnight. When he found the right spot, he squatted down for a pee. He'd given up cocking his leg after falling over a few weeks ago. We didn't laugh. Well, only a little bit. Old age comes to us all, and it was sad to see that it had caught up with Spike. He was an old man now. At 13 years of age, his tap-staring, water-snorting, balloon-chasing, stick-killing, bath-biffing days were behind him, and he was growing old extremely disgracefully and exceptionally stinky. I think he managed to surprise himself with some of the after-effects following a good farting session. Can you imagine if they had canine Olympics? He wouldn't do too well at running. He only runs if water or taps are involved. He wouldn't do too well at obedience either. My delinquent dog doesn't do obedient. He'd do pretty well at swimming. But come the stinkathon, there'd be no competition. A dead cert. He'd win with paws down, bronze, silver, and gold. He could produce some absolutely putrid specimens, powerful enough to dissolve the fillings in your teeth. Can you imagine if they did windsurfing? Oh, get out of here. A prize little stinker, maybe, but we loved him. With Spike around, we felt a connection to Jake, just as in earlier years I had felt a connection to my lovely old dad when Mr. Wiggs was here. I called him in for his toast, but he wasn't quite ready to come in just yet. Watching him wandering around the garden made me realize that one way or another I was going to have to try and come to terms with losing Jake and go forward. Although I knew it wasn't going to be easy, I knew this little soul would help us.